Hello, everybody. Welcome. Please, if you are here with us live, do not be shy. We want to hear from you. Put something in the comments. Tell me how you're doing, where you're coming from, maybe what's in your cup, what you're drinking today. Um, and just kind of this is a conversation and I really want your participation. I'm really excited about this conversation. When I found Lisa, I was like, there is somebody to help. Like, there's hope. I personally never thought I would run a business and raise my kids at the same time. That kind of for me was something I actually was actively avoiding for a long time. I had joined a remote company hoping that they would be a good place for me to like have a job while I raised my babies. And there kept being policy changes that just would not work as a mother, specifically when they wanted us to be online and how they wanted us to have our children like not be a part of things. um, Policies like that they just kept not working for me. And I got to a point where I was like, if I want to continue to make money, which I have to start my own thing. And that led me to starting what I refer to myself as is a content traffic cop. So I'm not producing other people's content, but I am helping them get it to the right places at the right time, specifically surrounding live streaming. I love live streaming. I love being behind the scenes of really smart, intelligent people, which I get to do quite often. I'm so excited about. And I was actually just telling Lisa about how yesterday I had a very awesome, successful live show, but literally the entire time I had a 4-year-old asking me to change Mickey or take the crust off his sandwich. And like it was chaotic and wonderful and beautiful and but hard. And that's why I'm really excited to have Lisa on today. Tosh, thank you for being here. Good morning. Natasha, she's on my team. She's my sister-in-law, and she also works from home with her little ones. So let me know, Tosh, if you have questions for Lisa, because I'm sure she has some sort of advice for all of us. So this is Lisa. Hello.
Hello. Hi, Shelby.
How are you today?
I am doing great. Thank you.
Good. Okay. How do you describe yourself? Like, will you kind of give us like how did you find yourself in this space of like coaching mompreneurs?
Yeah, I was listening to your story of like, yep, been there, trying to work from home, remote, the policies not working for me. I
Yep.
have 3 boys. So that in itself is a whole other conversation, right?
I I have one. I have 2 kids. I have 1 boy, and I will tell you, yep, 3 boys.
It's a lot. It's a lot.
Yeah.
And it was during COVID. They were
Yeah.
home and they were remote learning and trying to keep them on their laptops, trying to keep them engaged and work. I was working for a nonprofit at the time. And they told me I needed to come back to the office and I just couldn't. I couldn't leave them at home to take care of themselves. And so I quit. And then it was like, oh, what did I do? Now I have to figure this out.
Yes.
And
I
yeah, and
totally
I've been helping moms, just in life. Like I've had mom groups for years and get together in my home and talk about their life and what their dreams, their passions. And so I thought, well, I have a ton of marketing experience. Why don't I just start my own business and see what happens?
right.
So here I am.
Yes. I love it. And I'm glad that you're here and I'm glad that you're doing that. I feel like our kids are in a little bit different age ranges. And I feel like each age, I'm learning, there's not like an easy phase, right? And there's not like a bad phase either, right? Like it's like there's good and bad and hard to each different phase. And so talk to me a little bit more about like what does the like school age feel like as you're working from home with
It's
yeah.
funny. I said on a Zoom yesterday, I said, it was LaShonda's. I
Yeah.
said, I'm so happy to be here because my kids are at school. And everyone kind of went, oh, okay. But it's
Yeah,
true when they get a little older and they're school aged and you have that 8:30, 9 to 2, whatever it may be, it really is that breathing room to expand and
yeah.
focus on yourself for a minute, which I don't know about you, but I didn't get to do that when they were younger. I didn't have that option.
Yes. Yes, I feel like I'm hoping I'm in, like, the thick of that phase because it feels like I am I had to start growing my business. My son was I wanna say he was 9 months old is when I kinda transitioned into being more employed. And I remember crying, like, when I told my husband, like, I have to do my own thing because this isn't working for me to be a part of this company that claimed to be so good to stay-at-home mothers and military spouses with, like, abnormal schedules, and then they weren't, and it still breaks my heart, honestly, to this day because I feel like they wanted to be, but just as they scaled, like, it just changed in a way that, like, I no longer felt welcome. I no
Hmm.
longer felt like I could, because I knew, and I think a lot of moms know, there is skills that I have that I can bring to the table. They just have to be at nap time or bedtime or, it has to be more flexible than, like, you have to be online from 9 to 5, Monday through Friday. That just doesn't work. You know
It
what I mean?
doesn't work. No, it doesn't at any age. I mean, I still, well, today it was 4 a.m. because I'm still getting used to the time change, but I get up earlier than the kids so that I mean, I try to do my self care, but let's be honest, I'm on my laptop. I'm
Yeah,
checking flow desk to make sure my email's ready for tomorrow. And
yes,
because then I'm actually a better mom if I can take care of a few tasks and then go make breakfast, make sure they're up, have their football stuff, all the things and then
yes.
move into, it's kind of it's you just kind of move in and out, in and out, in and out of mom and business,
That's
right?
100%. I think I can't remember if I put it in this post, I think I did, for this conversation where it's like, I can't work 9 to 5, I can work 9 to 4:45, and then 1 to 1:16, and then, like, it's such fragmented times, and then I usually will be able to time block, like, today, I have my husband who's watching the kids, and so, like, I'm able to do, like, my writing work, which is really hard when you have little people. So I quite literally I have a whiteboard. Here's my system. I don't know what you'll think about it. I have a whiteboard with all of my clients, and then I have different colors for the brain power the tasks take. So when I'm writing like my to-dos, I'm like, this is like a level one, meaning like my brain can do this while I have somebody screaming at me for fruit snacks. Like I'm
Mhm.
good. I can do that. Level 2 is like I need if they're watching TV and distracted, like it's something I can do. Level 3 is something where it's like my whole brain, I have to be completely in work mode, not in mom mode. And that's like kind of how I prioritize different tasks in my life. Is there like a system or way that you
This is amazing. I want to swipe that from you.
Thanks,
No,
Elizabeth. I'm glad you're here.
no, I truly I love that. I because it's so we can literally make ourselves mad if we are
Yes,
trying to think that we can do it while they are asking for fruit snacks, or they're starving because they just got home from practice, or blah, it goes on and
yes,
on. And it's like, so what can I do? I can listen to a podcast, a business
right.
podcast while I'm cooking dinner. But I'm going to need my brain a little bit more to do, like you said, the writing or the strategy or meet with a client. So, no, I
Yes,
love your system. I use Google Calendar
yes.
because I have 3 kids in sports. Well, one's away at college now, and that's been its whole other thing. I know.
I don't know. Yeah.
Imagine. Um, yeah, so I have a different color for every child and
Oh,
myself and
okay.
Poppy Grove, my business. And so everything is a different color. And now I've trained my brain to know what is happening when. And what I've done is I time block on my Google Calendar. Lavender is Poppy Grove. And so when I see that, it's like my brain knows, okay, this is my time. And then I
Yeah.
also have a Lisa calendar where I schedule going out with
Oh,
friends or a massage or which I need to do more, but just little
okay, but
blocks where
I
I can
like that
decompress.
because I know for me, so I literally it was probably a year ago, I decided I had to treat my family like a client. Because I have my board with all of my clients' names on it. Those to-dos
Mhm.
will get done. Me calling the doctor, the dentist, paying that bill, they kept falling. Like, I kept being like, "Oh, crap, I forgot that," because I would be in, like, brain, like, work mode, and then I would go when I went to go be in mom mode, I'd realize, like, those tasks didn't get done, and I don't wanna spend more time on my computer or on my phone when I'm playing with my kids. So I was like, "I'm gonna add that as, like, a client of mine is my family,
Mhm.
and I need to treat that, like, with the same importance. That way those, like I don't wanna call it admin work for your house, but it kind of is.
Oh,
You
no,
know what I
it
mean?
absolutely is.
Yeah,
Yeah, I think
yeah,
of it that way. Yeah,
yeah.
I
Okay, I was
actually
like,
put it
"That's
on
my
my
word."
Google task list is my personal, so family. And
Yeah,
so I look at that and I schedule that of, well, when am I gonna be able to call the doctor? All the get the cleats. I mean, there's
yeah.
such a huge mental load about being a mom that we do need to schedule that in. So I do put that on my calendars and try and.
But
But
I
I
love
also
the
have a
idea.
written calendar.
Yeah, I always struggle with that too because do we want real life or virtual? Like, that is a whole thing. But I did wanna go back to that point of you have, like, Lisa things. Like, you yourself things, which I think is very, very interesting because I need to do that. I don't have something that's like Shelby things, and honestly, my family things, when it is my thing, it gets it drops down, you know what I mean?
Mhm, mhm.
Yeah.
Yes. So when my kids were younger, as I told you, I was in the wine industry, and my ex-husband and I had a small tasting room and winery. So the kids have grown up with me having my own business. That's really all they've ever known, sort of. And I got lost in that. I got lost in the, okay, I put them down for a nap. Now I'm going to work. I put them down for bed. Now I'm going to go do a wine tasting. And there was never Lisa time. And I did fall apart. I mean, I can say that. I'll just be honest. My marriage fell apart. Like, I
Yes.
wasn't taking care of me. And it was like, well, now what? And so I had to put it on my schedule like a doctor appointment
Yeah.
or something that you just can't push down the list and reschedule.
Yes. I
Yeah.
love that, and I love your honesty and transparency around that because holy moly. Like Natasha said, "Wait, we can have our own things." I'm gonna cry. But really though, that's what it feels like, is it's like, "Oh, wait, like, Shelby can do something? Well, that's and it's not that you don't know that. I think it's just that you don't prioritize it, right? I love how Kim said, Kim is the reason I use my Google Calendar the way that I do. She is brilliant on time blocking. She's one of my clients and
Ooh.
I love her. And she time blocks literally everything. Like, I remember once I went to schedule a meeting for her and she had like text her friend. And I was
Yeah.
like, brilliant, because so many times
Mhm.
I'll think like, "Oh, I really need to check up on so and so," but it's like that list that doesn't quite make it on like a real to-do list, and I love the way she uses it. So she did have a question that said, "How do you prioritize your own list over your family's? Do you try to do one each day, one from your list per week versus the same?"
Mm.
I like that.
Good
What are your thoughts?
question. Yeah. What I do is on Sunday, well, now my boys they're watching football, right? So I
Yeah.
can get out my book. Here it is of like here. And each Sunday I look at what's going on for the week. So I look at that calendar. I have a whiteboard in the kitchen where I put all their activities. I schedule what we're going to have for dinner or if it's a fridge night because I'm tired of being asked 1,000 times what's for dinner. So that's on the
Putting
bottom,
it
like,
where
here's
they
what's
can
for dinner,
see it.
where they can see
Oh,
it. So when
okay.
they can read and they're a little bigger and, it's like, here's what's for dinner, now leave mommy alone.
Yes.
And then I figure out, and I've had these conversations with other moms, like, is it selfish that I don't go to every soccer practice or soccer
Ooh,
game? So that's been interesting for me to move into as they've gotten a little older of, you know
yeah.
what? I'm going to take care of Lisa on Thursday instead of going to that soccer game. And it's
Whoa,
pretty
Lisa.
controversial. I know. I know. Wow.
Yeah, I haven't considered that's a bridge I'm gonna figure out later, but yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it was a tough one for me because I do show up for my kids 1,000%. But sometimes if I've had a really heavy week and I need some me time, because I also care for my mother, so I'm in that sandwich generation. That's yeah. And so if I need that time to go sit with a friend and have a glass of wine, that's
Yeah,
okay. And so, yes, I do prioritize that on my calendar. I let everybody know in advance. It's a fridge night, grab
yeah.
whatever's in the fridge or whatever. Sorry, that's my dog. And whatever it may be. And I take care of me. And you know what I found? They rise up to meet the occasion. They
Yeah.
figure it out.
I'm gonna
And
I'm gonna say something a little crazy here, but I played
okay.
soccer and basketball throughout high school. I
Uh-huh.
don't remember if my parents were at every game. I
Thank
know
you.
they came to some, like, and I never did not feel supported by them, but I also can't tell you that, like, they were, like, because I had friends who had the parents who were, like, every practice, every game, but I never felt like my parents weren't supportive because they weren't that way. You know what I mean?
Yes.
And so just from, like, a kid's perspective, I don't know if that it carries the weight that it does. So,
I don't think it yeah, I agree with you, but I feel what I wish I would have learned this earlier. And I wish I could tell more moms that
yeah.
it is okay to buy the cookies. I mean, it's just so
Don't
right
just
of
make
like,
the cookie like, you can buy them,
yeah,
is that what you
you
mean?
can buy them. It's okay. They just want your presence. That's what they
Yeah,
want.
yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, I love Kim asked another follow-up
Oh,
question. Do
yeah,
you
yeah, yeah.
utilize humans that are not your partner when it comes to getting coverage for Lisa time, family, friends? If so, how do you engage them? And if it's friends, how do you ask them to help when you need it? Ooh, that's a really good one that I have not figured out because I will tell you, my husband and I, to this day, we've had one babysitter that's been his mom. That's it. And so how do you approach
Mm.
these
I love
conversations?
this question, Kim, because I'm working on a Black Friday offer about this, a mini course on having conversations as an ambitious mompreneur. Because
Ooh,
how do you have those conversations and ask for what you need when where I grew up, I didn't I wasn't taught how to ask for what I need. I was taught to
yeah.
check the boxes. Just, another
Mhm.
honesty point. So I didn't have family living near me. So what I did, I went to Mommy and Me when I had time. I met some women that worked. What Mommy and Me was interesting because most of them were stay-at-home moms and they judged us. And so we kind of quit and did our own
Oh,
little group
yeah,
and we really supported each other. So what we would do is switch kids.
yeah.
So, like on a Thursday
I
night,
like that. Yeah, because
my friend
we're
would
all in
take
the phase. Because I know for me,
yes,
if somebody was like, "Hey, can I drop my 4-year-old off?" Like, that would help me out. Like, if I had another
right?
4-year-old for my 4-year-old to hang out with, like, sign me
No,
up. Like, that's
it
great.
does. It makes it easier. You're already making the snacks. You're already
Yeah,
whatever the plan is for the evening, like throw a couple more. Then they
yeah,
entertain each other. And so
yeah,
we would do those switches like every other week. And it was so helpful. And there was no judgment of like, I need to get away from my kids for a minute.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
I
So
love
I
that.
would suggest that. And then family, I've had to put up boundaries. I've had to say, this is a tough one. I need help. I am a double
Yeah,
Scorpio. I think that I can do everything on my own. No, I cannot. And that's why I fell apart. So
yeah,
it's saying, I need help. Can you please help me? And using
yeah.
those I statements, really helpful. I need the help.
Really? Why can you talk me through that a little bit? Like, how what do you mean by that?
Well, okay, when you're with a partner and I had to learn this the hard way, like you
Yeah.
don't help me, you don't step up, and instead of like this, I turn
I
it
see,
around
I
so
do
that
this,
I
like, "We should do this thing. We should take the trash out. We should fix that door," when I really mean, like, "Hey, will you please help me fix that door?"
there
That's
you
what I
go.
mean.
See, you just did a mindset shift right there. I could
Yeah.
really use your help fixing that door.
Oh. So even taking it a little bit farther from, like, saying, like, "I need this," or that's interesting. So, and
Yeah.
I know personally, if somebody said to me, like, "Hey, I've been neglecting my business. Can you help me with my kids for an hour next week? I need that time to prioritize my business." Sign me up. Like, I'm somebody who loves to help, so, like, when somebody says, "I need this," I go, "Thank you for letting me, like, be a part of your life and help you." And I think people need to know that. There are people out there who genuinely wanna help, and I think motherhood really humbles you that
It
way.
does. And
I
you
have
can find the helpers.
Yeah,
Especially once you get the school age and you start to see the moms that you want to be friends with or do things with, and I don't know, I gravitate toward helpers because I'm a huge helper, and so
yeah,
I've had to make myself vulnerable of asking for the help, not simply giving, giving, giving all the
yeah.
time.
But I
Yeah.
really love this idea that you had of, like, finding people in the same phase of life and
Mhm.
swapping, helping
Yeah.
each other, and, like, I think that is huge, so thank you for sharing that, and I would like to hear a little bit more about, the judgment that you felt and how do we avoid that with, like, working moms versus stay-at-home moms? Because I find myself in a really hard space when people ask me what I do for work, because it's not traditional. Because my work is meant to help me raise my kids. Like, I tried to style my business around the idea that my primary title will be mom, my secondary title will be podcast producer. Um, and I've had to, and sometimes they switch, right? Like, I realize, oh, I've been prioritizing my business over my kids, and that will sometimes come from me realizing it. I've had my husband point it out, I've had my mother-in-law point it out, and I
Ooh,
genuinely I love her. I know that that sounds bad, but I love her and I appreciate that. But definitely still stings. Like, but I want that feedback because for me, I have been very outspoken about I want that title for me to be thought of more mom than podcast producer. You know what I mean?
I
Um,
do.
so, but I also don't have judgment. I don't want to ever feel like I am causing any sort of, like, because as a mother, you already feel judged and people are already judging you.
Mhm.
How do we approach, like, both sides of that with love and respect, you think? That's a very hard question. But
Well, no, it's taken me a while to oof. When I feel better about my inner self and my confidence, my core values, what I'm putting out into the world, I'm less judgmental.
Yeah,
So I've really been able to approach it of if somebody is judging me, I sit okay, I get a little irritated and then I
yeah,
sit back and I think, well, why? What is the fear in them that's creating that judgment? And then I
yeah.
can approach it from a different place because being a stay-at-home mom when I tried that was the hardest thing and I couldn't do it. So, no judgment if you stay at home or you work.
So for me, I have a sister-in-law who said it really concisely one time where she said, "I just need somewhere for my brain to go that's not the kids. Like a space for my brain to have that's not like running the household and the children." And I wish that there was more, shoot, I should have remembered this resource. There's a company right now that's really taking off, called the 5 Hour Club, I think. Have you heard of them? The
No.
idea is helping parents and mothers have a 5 hour work week, which sounds wild, right? But
Mhm.
5 hours, like, and a lot of companies need just a tiny bit of help. They don't need a full-time employee. They just need that little slice of 5 hours. And I love what they're doing because 'cause they're connecting mothers who are, like, their primary focus is their children, and
Mhm.
companies who know they can't afford, like, full-time employees. And I really, really like that. That's kind of coming out with this, like, post-COVID world a little bit, this
Yes.
flexibility.
Yeah. Oh, I love that also because I have found that there are moms who have stayed home for quite a while raising their
Mhm.
children and then they want something for themselves, but they are so afraid. They have imposter syndrome. They don't think they have the tech skills or that they can learn. And so something like that would be a great segue into getting back into the workforce, starting your own business because we have so many transferable skills. I
Oh my
tell
gosh.
moms all the time, you are multitasking every day. You are
Yeah.
keeping people alive. That is a huge skill.
It's very stressful. Or, like, long-term planning is the other thing that I'm like, I feel like there has to be, like, some sort of resume word I can put on for, like, I'm worried my son doesn't eat enough vegetables, and so I've been doing all these creative ways of getting him to eat
Yeah,
vegetables.
yes.
Creative problem solving or something. All right. So what last final question before we wrap up. What we kind of talked about it a little bit earlier. What do you wish moms knew earlier on in their career? I feel like you've shared a lot of really wonderful things and honest and hard things. Thank you for sharing that. Yeah, sometimes we like there's consequences to us not prioritizing ourselves. And so what do you wish you knew earlier in working?
I had this moment where I was pumping in the LAX airport bathroom because I
Yes.
had to go to that sales meeting. And I wish I could tell her back then, stop, stop. You don't have to do it all. And like we talked about, you can ask for help.
Yeah.
That was a defining moment in my life of being like, what the hell am I doing?
Yeah.
And is it worth it? Is it worth it in the long run? Right? If you talk about that vision,
Yeah.
yeah, that's what I would say. Of I know it's hard because we really want to make our businesses take off. We want to be the best moms we can be,
Yeah.
but we're just not going to if we're not taking care of ourselves. And we
Yeah.
need friends and support to say, "Hey, Shelby, did you go get that massage like you said you were going to go get?"
Oh, I will say one point to that. So when I started my business, obviously it was just me, Shelby, and I was trying to do all the things. My husband's in the military, like all of that, and I realized I needed help. And I started my family's actually who works with me because they're all mothers with young children. And I was like,
Mhm.
wait, there's potential here. Like I need help. You need a little bit extra cash. Like let's work together because I don't want to do it all. So I've added since then. I have 5 team members right now, and
Wow.
it feels big, but we're all doing that like little pockets of time. So it's like I can't say they're all like I don't know if I could say like it's the same as like another company having 5 employees, but it is. You know what I mean? Because it's like we all have like very um spliced up schedules. So it's a
Mhm.
different dynamic, but it's super, super awesome. And one thing I I was not prepared for is people calling me on my shit. Like my team being like, "Shelby, that's something I can do. Like give it to me. Like stop trying to do it all." And like I this last month with the hurricane,
Mhm.
I could not work. I did not have access to the internet. I did not have my cell phone didn't work. And it makes me cry every time I talk about it, but my team stepped up so much
Mm.
that I was like, "Oh my gosh, like this is the beauty of having help as an entrepreneur." Like
Yeah.
if you can have teammates, they'll call you out when you're not doing what you need to do, which is beautiful. And then the support through these like already really hard years as a young mom. And then having things like this where it's like, oh, like they've got it, like, it's okay, I think is something I wish I had done earlier was bring on teammates, because it's made such a difference for
It
me and my
does.
business.
And
So,
you've cultivated that, and that's the other thing. You really have to be intentional about cultivating that community and those people in your life. So, good. It's
it's
great.
awesome, and I have to give a shout out to my clients, Kim, thank you for being here, and thank you for being she has been patient with me through so many different phases of my motherhood and my life and crazy catastrophic disasters and all of that. And I have also seen the power of working with uh, really good people. Another client of mine, she took me on when I was 6 months pregnant. And I thought, there's no way I'm going to sign this client. I'm 6 months pregnant. I'm going to be out in 3 months. She's going to look at me like I have 3 eyeballs when I tell her, hey, I'm going to take 2 months off in three
Mhm.
months. And same thing, like she was like, I wish I had this when I was a young mom. Like, I'm so glad you can work from home and snuggle your baby while you're
Mm.
working. That's so cool for you. And so just the way like I just have so much gratitude in my heart for the way things have shifted to support mothers, and I hope and pray that it continues to. Um So, last question, where can people follow you and learn from you? Where do you want us to continue to learn from
Yeah.
Lisa?
I am on LinkedIn, Lisa
Okay,
Avila, and then on Instagram, Lisa the strategist. So that's where I
perfect.
have a little more fun and kind of post my, wild life with 3 teenage boys.
Yeah, I'm sure. Yeah. I've really enjoyed following you since I've found you on there,
Thank
because 'cause I'm the
you.
same. Instagram for me is more of like a fun connection tool and less of like my business. So anybody who's listening, please, I'm sure Lisa would love for you to reach out. I would love for you to reach out if you have any questions. Elizabeth, thank you for being here. I'm so, so grateful to you for so many reasons that you know, wink, wink. Thank you, thank you. And just thank you for your time, Lisa. And I appreciate you joining me here.
Thank you, Shelby. This was fun.